Well, folks, I think it's safe to say that a blue wave hit the United States in all of these different elections that took place across the country. You might even describe it as a tsunami. That's how overwhelming the results were. And I got to be honest, going into yesterday, I thought the Democrats were going to do very well and we would win all of the elections. We would just sweep across the country. I wasn't expecting us to win by that much. That's how amazing these results were. And of course, Donald Trump and the Republicans have been paying attention to the results. They had a very hilarious and very long meltdown last night over the elections. They claimed that they were fraudulent, that the Democrats are communists, we're crazy, all this different crap that usually comes from the Republican side. So I want to show you Trump's response, Fox News' response, Republicans just generally, they're not happy about these results. Before we get into any of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the story. Let me know if you voted, and if you didn't live in a place with an election, let me know what you think about the story regardless. And let's dive in. First and foremost, I do want to go over the results because I think they're so impressive. Mamdani in New York City got over 50% of the vote, which is very impressive in a three-way race. You don't really see that all that often. And then, of course, in California, which I think was the most important election of yesterday, the ballot measure, Prop 50, won resoundingly. 64.5% of the vote with 66% of the votes counted. But I will say that the New York Times, MSNBC, and all these different outlets called this election within 1 minute of polls closing. That's how overwhelming the results are. In Virginia, of course, Abigail Spanberger won the governor's race there. Also, we won the attorney general's race, the lieutenant governor's race. We've retained both the House and the Senate in Virginia. It just got hit with a huge blue wave. The country is feeling liberal. In the New Jersey governor's race, Mickey Sherrill won as well, beating Jack Ciattarelli, this lunatic MAGA handpicked guy by Donald Trump. And just across the country, there were all of these different results. It was so fantastic to watch. And Donald Trump was paying attention. His first response to the elections at 10:05 p.m. last night was, quote, "Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters." I don't know who these pollsters are that he's citing here. He never gave us any specifics as to who he's citing. My guess is that they are fictional, made-up people. Donald Trump does this often where he puts out this kind of ambiguous statement and then cites an alleged expert in the field to make it sound more credible, but he just makes people up. But, this is such a Trumpian way to look at the election, trying to divert blame from him and his insane policies onto other people. So he's like, I wasn't on the ballot and it's the shutdown that's the Democrats' fault. That's what happened. When in reality, no. The American people know that Donald Trump is responsible for the government shutdown. Prices continue to go up. Donald Trump's promises continue to be broken. He's conducting these insane immigration raids across the country that are horrifying to people, Democrat, Republican, Independent, and he wants to put blame on other people. It's not his fault for running the country badly. It's somebody else's fault. It's just Trump 101. But he continued. This took place for like an hour or an hour and 30 minutes. He just kept responding in almost 20-minute intervals. It was really weird. Then, while all of these results were still coming in and MAGA was getting beaten, he said just out, the 60 Minutes interview of Donald Trump was the highest rated 60-minute interview in years. Whatever that means. Who knows how he's calculating this or what metric he's using to deem it the highest rated. But regardless, he's posting this as his Republican Party, the party that he leads, is losing across the country. Then another one at 10:41 saying Republicans terminate the filibuster, get back to passing legislation and voter reform, President DJT. So it seems like he's once again panicking about the results after talking about his ratings. And he's going in all caps saying that Republicans have to terminate the filibuster, which he has previously been against, so they can, pass the policy that they want. And I think maybe Donald Trump is getting a little bit of a wake-up call because he knows deep down that these elections we saw yesterday, was a referendum on him. The people are not happy with him, and they don't want his policy passing and getting signed into law. So he knows that in order to even get it done, they have to get rid of the filibuster so he and his party can just vote along party lines and get stuff done. But it seems like he has a little bit of a panic in that post there. Here's another one, 10:58. As I said, like 20-minute intervals, basically. He said, pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state addition, etc., terminate the filibuster. So he's still focusing on the filibuster. Again, I think he's responding to these election results just a little bit by saying all this stuff. Voter ID, no mail-in ballots. He thinks the elections were unfair. Just a total lunatic. Here's more. And so it begins. And what's interesting about what Donald Trump said here, and so it begins at 11:34 p.m., is that at around the same time, almost the exact same time, Zohran Mamdani was giving his victory speech, and he said, Donald Trump, I know you're watching, so I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up now, something along those lines. And Donald Trump seemed to respond with, and so it begins. So maybe he was responding to Mamdani, but we don't know. Here's some other reactions from Republicans I thought that were funny, aside from Donald Trump. Redline Politics on Twitter at 7:03 last night, so before we got a lot of the results, said, "It's so over." The tweet went viral, 1.4 million views. I responded to that saying, "The MAGA meltdown over their huge losses tonight has already started. It's glorious. We had no results yet, and MAGA was already freaking out." It was so funny. Here's Mike Lee, the senator from Utah, responding to somebody citing Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight Returns, maybe, whatever movie it is. It's the Christian Bale Batman movies. I think they're pretty good. With Bale, who I guess took over the makeshift New York City in the movie, and Mike Lee said, "Rip NYC," because of Mamdani. And Fox News also responded to the mayor's race. They are not happy about it as well. Take a look at what Donald Trump's former campaign manager had to say about it.
He barely won. He won by a far smaller margin than she did. She dragged him over, and now he should be a drag on her. Because, my goodness, we've got a socialist, anti-Semite, pro-Hamas guy as mayor of New York.
So she's both attacking Virginia and New York City, and it seems like she was playing a game of how many buzzwords can I fit into a description of Zohran Mamdani. Here's another fun fact about last night. J.D. Vance's brother lost. J.D. Vance's brother lost. He was running for mayor of Cincinnati. J.D. Vance endorsed him, and he got walloped.
New York City, I'll tell you as we are going to break, we do have a call in the Cincinnati mayor's race, in case anybody has been waiting for that. Aftab Purival is the very charismatic incumbent mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio. He has defeated J.D. Vance's half-brother and will stay the mayor of Cincinnati. We'll be right back.
God, I love that. J.D. Vance's half-brother losing. Man, it was just doesn't get much better than that, I think. Here's another one of this kind of Republican meltdown from Bubble Bath Girl. That's his username. Very strange. Went on this rant about the New York City mayor ballots. For some reason, this was like the focus of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and MAGA yesterday. They think that the ballot is rigged because you can see here that Zohran Mamdani's name appears twice under the Democratic Party and the Working Families Party, and so does Curtis Siwa. They thought they were working against Andrew Cuomo, when in reality, in New York, multiple parties can endorse or nominate somebody, meaning that their name would show up on, in 2 different parties, for example. And so that's just how it takes place in New York. But for some reason, they thought that this was cheating. And the funny thing about this is that Donald Trump's name appeared twice on the ballot last year in New York City because of the same rules. He was nominated and endorsed by both the Republican Party and the Conservative Party. So I guess according to Donald Trump and MAGA and their followers, I guess Donald Trump cheated last year as well, at least using their logic. But you're kind of getting a view of just how crazy things were last night, how overwhelming the results were in favor of Democrats, and how Trump just had a really bad night. And as I've said before, Donald Trump losing is a win for America. So look, I just had to show you Trump's response, occasional Republicans on Twitter, an elected official, Fox News. It's all just so funny to watch, but I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world that you are here. Make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.